A good number of us have in one way or the other taken part in yoga. Even I have. It is shown as a harmless stretch with great benefits. But there is more to yoga than meets the eyes. Stay tuned. The term yoga in the Western world often denotes a modern form of exercise consisting largely of stretching postures which originated in ancient India. Yoga is often viewed as a peaceful practice, but indeed it is a dangerous deception that sends messages to the spirit world, attracting the spirit of Hinduism. There are different types of yoga. The common yoga practiced in the Western world is known as Hatha yoga. In yoga, most of the postures you do comes from Hatha yoga. These poses are known as asanas. There is a story behind some of the more well-known asanas practiced in yoga. Some derive their inspiration from animals, some from earth, and some from ancient spiritual stories. Just as incantation have invocatory powers, so too does body language. As flirting proves, yoga is a full body come here, I adore and I implore, dedicated to the ones the poses are named after. Let us look at some stories behind some of those poses. The warrior pose. This is derived from an ancient story of a warrior, the son of a Hindu god Shiva. In the story, Shiva became angry and tore out a lock of his hair, throwing it to the ground. The hair turned into a powerful warrior who used anger to defeat enemies. Therefore, this pose is done in honor to this warrior. The tree pose. This pose is done in reverence to a woman named Sita, who is captured by a demon king, Ravana, who holds her prisoner at his palace and tries to convince her to forget about her exiled husband, Rama. Convinced that Rama will come save her, Sita finds solace amongst the trees outside the palace where she meditates and waits for Rama to rescue her. The splits. This physical posture represents the ability of a monkey god, Hanuman, to leap great distance, depicted in a battle between Rama and Ravana. When he left from India to Lanka in order to comfort Sita, Hanuman was so loyal towards Rama that when offered a reward for his bravery, he asked only to be able to continue to serve them. The seated spinal twist. This is done in representation of the Lord of the Fish. Hindu legend had it that this Lord of the Fish was born under an inauspicious circumstance and was thrown unwanted into the ocean. After being swallowed by a giant fish, the fish traveled down to the bottom of the ocean. In the hideout, Shiva was revealing the mystery of yoga to his wife, Parvati. After staying in the belly of the fish for 2 years, the Lord of the Fish emerged full of wisdom he had heard from Shiva. The eighth bend. This refers to a physical handicap. His story begins in the womb, where he would hear his father reciting the Vedas. His father would often make mistakes, so one day he corrected him from the womb. Enraged and embarrassed, his father cursed him so that he would be born with the eighth bend in his body. The corpse pose. Usually the last pose in a yoga class, this pose is meant to mimic death. Well, some people may decide to take part in just the stretching portion of the yoga, claiming they don't believe in the spirituality involved. But to a Hindu, yoga is only the outward physical expression of a deep spiritual belief. You cannot separate one from the other. So you may say, well, I'm not doing any of the meditation stuff. I'm just following the exercise. The exercise itself is spiritual. Subhas Tiwari, professor of yoga, philosophy, and meditation, said, efforts to separate yoga from its spiritual center reveals ignorance of the goal of yoga. Another aspect of yoga is called the Kundalini Yoga. According to the Hindu, it is believed that everyone has energy that is coiled like a snake at the base of the spine. The goal of Kundalini Yoga is to unravel that coiled energy and unleash it up through 6 other chakras. A chakra is believed, according to the Hindus, to be the center energy in the body. When this energy gets to the top level, the person experiences what is called Kundalini awakening. The Kundalini Yoga also shares some of the physical poses and breathing exercises as seen in the Hatha Yoga. Hatha, though spiritual, emphasizes more on the physical practice, but the Kundalini part incorporates more of the mantras, meditation, and foundational parts of his practice. The serpent found in the Kundalini Yoga is none other than the same serpent that tried to deceive Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. So partaking in yoga only gives this serpent a passageway through your body. So if you're a Christian and you practice yoga, you have just broken the first commandment, thou shalt have no other God before me. So it is quite unfortunate that I see some churches practicing yoga, calling it Christian yoga. Taking the name Christian and attaching it to a pagan practice does not in any way make that practice less harmful. It will always achieve its goal of glorifying the devil. Or except you have something called Christian Satanism, then Christian yoga does not add up. The Bible says, abstain from all appearances of evil. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. I have not been to a yoga class before, and I don't know if they teach the spiritual aspect, but most teachings I've heard from experts and even doctors is all about the so-called physical benefits. A practitioner of yoga may not understand the language of yoga, or perhaps he or she understands but does not approve. A lack of understanding or disapproval does not annul the message. As far as the spirit world is concerned, it is better that he or she does not understand, as ignorance prevents them from resisting or objecting. As far as disapproving the original meaning and purpose of yoga, the disapproval does not matter as long as the practitioner practices yoga. The message of yoga remains the same. A quick disclaimer, I am not saying that all stretching exercises is bad. I am just saying that postures or poses done in yoga is in honor to yoga gods, and believers should have no business with it. We should always present our bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, for that is our reasonable service. Remember, the devil is always subtle in all his ways, and he disguises himself as an angel of light. So, before you partake in anything at all, be sure you know its roots and pray about it. Let me know in the comment section below any other practice that you think is of the devil but disguising itself as light. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and share this video to as many that you think will need to hear this. Check out the next video showing on your screen and I will see you there. Thank you.